Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity, oneness, the highest levels of love light. I wanted to just go right into a little message, and then I'm going to go into a little flow, perhaps some light language. I want to talk a little bit about light language. I want to talk a little bit about being responsible for our actions, and I want to share a little bit about the fact that we are all going through a lot right now, many of us. And the more we support one another and let go of the need to judge, let go of the need to push our belief on someone else if they happen to be doing something a little different than our methodology, we are oftentimes pulled in 20 different directions. They're all different forms of, any type of school of thought or principle. But if now isn't the time to come together so we can support one another, so that we can bring our light in our own individual, unique expression, in our free will, then when? If now isn't the time to do it. Never before in my lifetime have I ever seen such a chaotic, distracting, exciting, sometimes scary for some of us, times. And so wouldn't it be such a wonderful opportunity for us to lift each other up, for us to encourage one another to express in free will, as long as it's in do no harm to any sentient kind? Would now be a good time to be in a place of thou shalt not judge? Would now be a good time for us to say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, ho'oponopono? And if we are living through an example, if we are living as an example, and we are holding true to love light, to the highest vibration of expression, then all of those judgments, dictating what or how somebody else should speak, sound, look, wouldn't that fall to the wayside because that's a lower frequency? We would feel when it's out of alignment with us speaking from love. So I'm sharing this because, from my perspective, now is the time to come together and not nitpick each other apart for the way someone sounds or the way someone looks. We're being invited to recognize when ego is coming in to show us where we're out of alignment, where perhaps we could balance things out a little bit. I share this because I started this channel as a form of my own creative self-expression that others could choose to tune into if they wanted to, or if they felt that it wasn't resonating or vibrating at their frequency, they could choose another channel, because we all have free will and freedom of choice. My intention was to share the healing energies that I had been feeling in sessions with other starseeds and lightworkers in my own way, because maybe that would inspire somebody else to tap into their own abilities. And we all have this in our own way, in our own gift. Many beings and many star seeds and light workers are starting to do things that they're not used to doing, such as speaking light language or speaking in tongues or writing out in light codes or practicing and participating in artwork that they're not used to expressing. It could be finger paints to some master Rembrandt style painting. Many light workers are starting to get these weird movements wanting to come through them, through their body. They're wanting to explore these more creative feminine aspects. Some are becoming more interested in science, in crystals and what the Mother Earth is saying to them, to us, to we. And we all have a different filter in which we interpret things through. And when we discourage someone from expressing themselves because we don't necessarily see through our filter, through our lens, our perception, or through judgment, that they might be on the same path as us, or from the same star system as us, or from the same lineage as us, education, whatever it might be, that comes from a place of separation. It comes from a place sometimes as ego. Ego and separation go hand in hand. And it creates a sense of, I'm right, this person is wrong. And if someone is just waking up to their communication, to their expression, it can sometimes discourage that person from expressing in this way. It can make this person feel judged. And as a way shower, as a light worker, as a starseed, if that is what we resonate with, then that is not creating unification or encouragement for expansion. That only encourages separation and, in essence, fear at the most basic sense. It isn't love. Although sometimes certain beings can feel that they are directing another person out of love. Yet there are many different variations of the perspective and perception of what love really is. Love is bliss, coherence, forgiveness, non-judgment. So we're being invited to be patient with one another and encourage any other light worker who is on the path of non-harm, do no harm to oneself or any other living being. And if that person is truly in a place of love and they are not communicating things that are hurtful or detrimental to the growth and expansion of us as a being, species, then why discourage them? We are all unique individual expressions of Source. And the more we hold space for one another, the more we hold space for ourselves. The less we judge and dictate to another light worker if their teachings are 100% accurate, or if the way they speak their language is perhaps not understood because it isn't the same way another light worker speaks their language. That is all petty. And discouraging for some people. We are here to uplift, Although some are here to play the shadow, and that is the role they are choosing by discouraging, by separating, by creating, I call it a cliquish mentality. Do we all remember high school? There can be cliques formed in any group. Sometimes we don't click with another person, place, thing, teaching, sound, frequency, color. And that's okay. Acknowledging that is one thing. Acknowledging it and then spreading that from the lens of our own perspective that then lowers the frequency and vibration is something else. There's a fine line between speaking truth, sharing in authenticity, and speaking the truth from a perspective that is perhaps linear or not from pure source heart, love, light. So recognizing that I'm hearing kid gloves, handle with care. Be gentle with our brothers and sisters. Yes, sometimes there is tough love by sharing with someone, you just really hurt that other person and that wasn't right. Or you hurt me and that wasn't right. Or I will not associate with you because you are spreading lies or propaganda, whatever labels we have for it that are lowering, making us feel sad. However, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, is this person triggering within me something that I need to work on, and therefore are they a teacher for me? Can I appreciate them for who and what they are presenting to me? So on that note, I want to talk a little bit about light language and share that language is communication. Light is in everything. Everything can be a form of communication. When we refer to light language, it generally refers to an expression from source that is filled with codes and healing information that activates our DNA. However, we are infinite beings. There are beings that are from the Pleiades, we'll say, and I'm going to give a bunch of examples. Sirius, Andromeda, right? Cassiopeia, Arcturian, right? There are beings who are associated with the blue beings. There are pink beings. There are the Lyran beings and the feline frequencies. There are grays. There are hybrids. I could go on and on and on, and it still wouldn't cover how many galaxies there are, how many star systems there are, planets. There are the Venusians. I share this because as we all begin to remember who we are, have been, and will be, some of us are connecting in with our future languages. Some of us are connecting in with our past languages and lineages. And some of us are tapping into the collective frequency of multilinguistics, multilinguality. There are also lost cultures and lineages of Lemuria and Atlantis. And just like Lemuria and Atlantean, that does not mean that we speak only one particular font, frequency, or language from Lemuria. There were many beings associated with Atlantis and Lemurian. There's Oraphim and Seraphim. There are the Avians, right? There are so many, it is infinite, right? Grains of sand on the beach. So then we bring it back in and recognize that we are all of these things. Yet some are tapping into their galactic heritage, which might be from one particular frequency, one particular bandwidth. Maybe they are tapping into a 6th or 7th dimension. Maybe it's the dolphins, the dragons. Maybe they're tapping into the 9th dimension. If someone is sharing information from a 5th or 6th dimensional frequency, it's beautiful. That can be different than someone sharing information from a 9th dimensional frequency. It doesn't make one wrong or right. It makes them different. And the beautiful thing about everybody communicating in these different light languages, or perhaps from a lost language of Lemuria or Atlantis, or perhaps any of the other languages associated with the tribes that have been lost within the earth. Lemuria and Atlantis being that as well, but the underground, inner earth, Agartha, right? So many different things. So all of this information coming in can be useful, and perhaps it was within us, locked away, and now it's just bubbling out. Thou shalt not judge when someone else is on their path and on their journey. For by them speaking this and letting it come forth, it helps them to release, to realize, to integrate. And that's where we encourage each other. But, or I should say, in addition, this is why it's important to do the inner work. To recognize when we are speaking with love and compassion and from a place of gratitude, bliss, rather than from a place of fear, anger. Because all is expressed through communication. So it's important to feel what the words feel like when they're coming through, or when we're listening to someone else. And there are certain lightworkers and starseeds who do speak beautiful languages, and they may be in a place of self-discovery, and they may not be aware that there are other dimensions, or that there is life beyond the 6th dimension. And that's okay. So the message is primarily encouraging one another to just be yourself. If someone comes and tells you, well, you're speaking, fill in the blanks, that's beautiful, great. That's from their perspective, based on their perception and the dimensional frequency or knowledge that they are tapping into. We are multidimensional beings, and we are not always tapping into all of those dimensions at certain times. If we're in a process of integrating a lot of fear, we may not be understanding the higher perspective of the languages or artwork or movements that are coming through. And sometimes it's just about letting it go. Toning. If we are speaking in a place, from a place of love, gratitude, connecting with our highest aspect that is sovereign, bliss-coded, in full alignment as source energy, creator of our soul, connecting in the highest vibrations of love, light, so be it. Many of us have come back to walk on this earth as embodiments of all the beings we have been before, weaving and braiding that in and walking from a higher vibration so that we can bring light into certain languages that may have been misused in the past, symbols that were misused in the past, or perhaps we could say inverted, and now we're flipping it and reversing it because we understand that those symbols have a deeper meaning than what has been taught in variations of certain schools, books, and principles, principalities. We are embodiments of a multitude, multiplicity, frequency bearers, code bearers, light workers, way showers from all dimensions, galaxies, planets, bandwidths, colors, angelics, animals, walking on earth together, bringing through unity and unification codes of love, light, if that is our intention. So we have the choice what to plug into, how and what to speak, with love or with judgment. Last but not least, for my own personal style, I write, speak, sing, move, and dance in many different frequencies, in many different ways. I am a hybrid, so to speak, pooling together in form all of these variations of beings that I have been and will be now in this now moment. And I choose to spin it in my own frequency. It's been work for me to integrate from this lifetime, let alone all of the other lifetimes that I've experienced. And part of that work has been allowing myself to express who I am and let go of the need for validation or let go of the fear of another being and their own perspective and reality of their judgment. That belongs to them. It has nothing to do with me. And that is what I am sharing to encourage all light workers who do choose to share this space, plug into what I'm sharing and energetically in words from my heart. I'm here to spread the love and support that. Anything else that doesn't resonate with me, I integrate it, digest it, move through it, and expand. Okay, so I'm just going to see, one last thing. When beings are speaking, for example, light language, I braid in many different dialects, accents, if you will, lifetimes, and merge it so that anybody that taps into any one of those multitude can maybe feel a connection, an expansive moment, a tingle, a frequency activation within the DNA, a memory, However, there are some that are just easy, that come just very naturally. And those are some of the ones I share the most frequently. When I get information that's technological, the language is different sounding. When I connect with the grandmother frequency of Earth, it's different. When I connect with the 6th, 7th, 9th dimensions, very different than the 12th. There is no language sometimes other than sound, and sometimes it's color at these higher frequencies. And that's why art can be such a beautiful tool to tap into communication and shapes. So I just wanted to share that. If I run out of room, I apologize. And there is light in the sound waves and harmonics, in the frequencies of movement. For we are boundless, infinite, bound in a chemical frame, a body, if you will, embodied in, within, embedded in harmonic frequencies. Benders of light, chemical arrays, rays blending into chemical form, raising our awareness, frequency, information, levels of expression. For we communicate far beyond the boundaries of words. We communicate far beyond the boundaries of words and the frameworks that we are interpreting. Unbind from the principles of the mind, for we are recognizing that we have been so much more. There is so much more in store, stored within, in our store, in our galactic frequency, marketplace, if you will. Dushtara ak ur, tuk ur. Dushtara andara ak esteshtarak ur. Or ändra är stono or ändra ek enda ak oa hua henna. Kea o ene yaat ene het ena. Kua o et istea o het ena. We break through the barriers of sound as we feel into our own our own flamboyancy. See past the linear dreamscape that you are tapping into, for you are tapping. You are tapping into so much more, tapping into the wellspring of knowledge. No longer waiting in limbo. Some are in a crash course of memory recognition. Crash through the chords. Play your own tune. Just breathing in and out. Sending gratitude and light to all beings. Finding their own expression through the harmonics, the heartmonics, through the inner wave, because we are. I'm hearing we are the wave. I always hear that, but I'm hearing we are waving at one another. We are saying, hello, I remember you. We are the weavers of a new reality construct. Let us blend our forces. Let us blend together. Let us not be lost in the separation of densities, in the superimposition of structures and barriers that have created and wreaked havoc on our cellular membranes, membrances, brains, remembering. Let us step out of the maze into amazement, amazed at the beauty and wonder in one another. Honoring one another on these paths, on this path, on this dimensional existence, interdimensional existence, extra-dimensional existence,